I'm going to introduce you to our final speaker. This is a lovely woman who is the half of the powerful Thompson duo. Larry and Taylor Thompson have been around the industry for a couple decades, and they have great hearts. They are amazing individuals. They give up their time. I had a conversation at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals with Larry at some dinner roundtable thing, and I left there specifically remembering one thing that he said. He said, people are looking for more income, not another job. And that really framed up how I believe most people in relationship marketing error, because they're trying to pitch somebody this idea of do this side hustle, which I love the concept of a side hustle, but they're not pitching it the right way. They're not sharing it the right way. It's not, I'm trying to create another job for you. What I'm doing is I'm trying to free you from the challenges of a standard 9-to-5 position. That you, even if you love that, keep doing it. But man, let's give you an opportunity. Let's give you a way out, or let's give you a way up, right? So Taylor is the reason Larry is as great as he is because he has somebody behind him that loves him, that supports him, that champions him. And you can hear it in her voice when she talks about him. This is such a great couple. And Taylor is amazing. She just started what she calls the She Network. And I signed up for it because I'm a student. I love to learn. And the very first link that she sent me was all about storytelling. And I feel like I'm a really good storyteller. As a general rule, it's one of my strengths. And so to listen to her talk about storytelling, I just put that up. I was working and I had that thing going, and I found myself stopping to work to focus on her because the content was so good. So do me a favor. We're going to listen to Taylor. You're the last speaker of the day. You are amazing, and I can't wait to sit and listen to you. So the next half hour is yours. We love you, and let's turn it over to Taylor Thompson.
Hello. Hi, my name is Taylor Thompson, and so happy to be here today with you, sharing hopefully some value that you'll be able to take to the bank, take to the marketplace. You know, I was always taught that the marketplace pays for value. So the more value you bring, the more money you make. So that's my goal here today. But first of all, I definitely want to give a big thanks to Miss Courtney Epps. I absolutely love her. I adore her. I think her heart for missions, her servant heart to really have impact on so many different areas, not only just in our space for helping people make more money. You know, the more money you make, that's really important, but you know, it's really about the money you keep. And I love that she's centered around that in her mission to help trafficking victims, help provide water and food. And I just love everything that she stands for. So Courtney, I just wanted to give a big shout out to you and thank you for inviting me to be a part of the first Level Up conference. And also to Mr. Robert McFadden. Thank you so much for putting all this together, all these technical pieces that you have to do in order for everybody to have a great training. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off here. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Taylor Thompson. I am the founder of the She Network and also co-founder of the LT Wealth Building Academy. Some of you may have seen me training together with my amazing partner and husband, Mr. Larry Thompson. And so it's really kind of interesting not having him here by my side, but you know, I'm speaking on behalf of the She Network, which is an entrepreneurs group that Courtney's a part of, but it's really about edifying, empowering, encouraging women. We know that right now the stats that we have is that 3 out of 4 networkers in our space are women. And so this just really filling a need, really filling a void of really empowering women and creating a believability in themselves, because we wear so many hats and we do so many amazing things. And really that's what this is all about. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about culture. And you know, this is something that's always been near and dear to my heart, primarily because this is how I got into this space. This is how I got into this industry. I say industry, when I started, they called it industry, but most people like to refer to it as a profession. So I'll say profession. And I started 27 years ago. I started 27 years ago because I was looking for a way to make an extra $800. And that was enough to enable me to have mom care versus daycare. And whenever I say that, mom care versus daycare, all I was looking for, to me, $800 meant the difference. That was like me working full time and paying for daycare. If you think about that 27 years ago, doing the math, that was my magic number. And I did a lot for those of you who don't know my story, I know that you can connect with me and be able to get a freebie from me, which is you just text 286 or 28786 She Network. So text She Network at 286. Oh gosh, I hate those numbers. Anyway, Robert's going to tell you all about that. So, but let me talk about this, because I'm talking about stories. Whenever you talk about a story, that's really how you connect with people. And for me, this is really how I got started, looking for that way to make an extra $800. And I tried a lot of different things. I was the one answering ads in the newspapers. Some people don't even know what newspapers are these days. I was answering ads, and you have to remember, there was no cell phones. There was no internet, there was none of the technology, luxuries that we have in today's market. And so, I was very fortunate. I mean, I tried crazy things, but I was really, really fortunate whenever I finally found, the opportunity that resonated with me, the opportunity that I connected with. And how I connected with that was, it was about a story. And they told me this story about this, about this couple that lived not very far from where I lived. I grew up all over West Texas. And it was a little couple that was living in a really small town, and they were making $10,000 a month. Now, $10,000 a month was a lot of money. Back then, a lot of money. I mean, it's still a lot of money, right? But never did I believe that as a mom like me, who had no background, no experience in business, could ever make that kind of money. But that wasn't my goal. I never saw that. I never believed that. But what I did believe, and what I did hear in the story, and that's why stories are so impactful. That's why you sharing your story at every opportune moment is really the biggest tool that you have in your toolbox whenever you are out building and growing your business. And so, I believed that if they could do it, right? That we hear that phrase a lot, I was always raised like, if I can do it, you can do it. And so for me, what happened in my mind by them sharing that story with me over the phone, that if this couple in this little bitty town, not very far from where I lived, small town, was making $10,000 a month, surely I, the stay-at-home mom who had this burning desire, who was willing to do the work, was willing to be coachable, just tell me where to go, what to do, what to say, I can go do that. I could make that extra $800. That was my goal. That was what I wanted to do. So very fortunate for me, I was brought into what I call a learning teaching environment. And so that was a big piece of the puzzle for me, because as I said, I never believed that I could be a top earner or, anything out. All I cared about was I wanted mom care versus daycare, and at the end of the day, I mean, there's still so many, there's still moms out there, even to this day, moms haven't changed that much, that they still are looking for that opportunity. They're still looking for those ways to be able to stay at home and not put their children in daycare, and so I think back to even as far 27 years ago, that psychology, that demographic hasn't changed. And so whenever I say brought into a learning teaching environment, I call it my incubator, right? So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, how to talk to people. I didn't know, what to do. I didn't know all of those things that so many times people get stuck, and they get stuck in high center, and they never get out. They never step outside of their comfort zone. So if you are wanting to, whenever we look at our environment as a whole right now, we know that we are in a gig economy, and a lot of people talk about gig economy. They talk about, ways to make extra money. And so whenever we say gig economy, we know the stats show 57 million people looking for a way to make $500 to $1,000 a month. Well, that was me 27 years ago. So if that's true, there's millions of people that were just like me in that space, that really just need a way to bring home extra income without changing their lifestyle, without doing a bunch of things that they may not necessarily know how to do. So this is where creating a culture, this is creating an environment that is conducive for the everyday person, no matter what their background, whether they've been in business or not, that whenever you create that learning teaching environment, I'm going to call it the incubator process, that allows for somebody like me, i.e. stay-at-home mom, teacher, construction worker, the everyday person, not the marketer, not somebody that's, a guru in social media or anything like that. Those are great, right? I'm talking about the everyday average person, because we've got to think about our profession as I was always taught, and it always resonates with me, that what we have to offer, it is really the average person's best chance. And whenever you think about it like that, then you want to create an environment, you want to create a culture that is conducive for that everyday person to be able to come in and feel included and not excluded. Come into that learning teaching environment like I was, that allowed me to have a track to run on, that I could be reared up, that they could bring me in and have a space. Now you have to remember, this was before social media or Facebook groups or anything like that. But they had created this environment that allowed me to come in and to be able to grow up and to start having that believability. And I always say that distributors go through 3 phases, and that is this: they go through a believe, know, and own phase. And so I'm going to talk about that from the perspective, some of you who may know me or may have heard me and my husband speak, or maybe you've heard of the Thompson rule. That's where this came from, was Larry and I. That's really the foundation to everything that we hold to be true. We believe that the Thompson rule, the 80, 15, and 5 concept, is foundational to every network marketer's business. Now, stick with me here. Now, I'm painting a picture, and I'm going to pull all of these pieces together for you. So, whenever we talk about the 80, 15, and 5, this is not. So many times people, if you've heard this, or you've heard me talk about this, or Larry, you think about it and you start putting into categories. You start categorizing people into this. And this is not about you categorizing someone. This is a concept for you to think about that's based on desire, or based on a desire for activity purposes. So whenever I say 80, 15, and 5, what I mean is, I'm going to go back to the gig economy number that I said, 57 million people looking for. Now the stats that they show are $500 to $1,500. Well, Larry and I have always taught that 80% of your business will be that person that wants to make $500 to $1,000 a month, i.e. me, right? I wanted $800. And so why is that? Why is that number so important? And why is that number so relevant, even whenever we're talking in today's environment? The reason why it's so important is to know that that is a language that we all need to know how to speak. And what do I mean by that is this, is that 80%, if 80% of your business is going to be the person that wants to make $500 to $1,000 a month, that's a pretty large pool of people. Well, whenever we say 15%, that's the area that is going, that person wants to make, about $5,000 a month. We'll say 15 up to 5,000. And then you have your 5%, right? Your 5% of people that are going to want to make, we say 25,000 and up, right? So that's kind of and keep in mind, this is a concept. Now, I want you to think about this from the perspective of, Larry and I've always liked to use gym analogies because it is so relevant, and it's something that everybody can really wrap your brain around and have an understanding as to what happens whenever you go to the gym. And we use the analogy that 80% of your business, or 80% of the people that go to the gym, they go because they want a community. They want a community where they can feel good. They can want a community where they feel accepted. They want to just hang around, maybe have some juice bar, maybe do a little bit on the treadmill. But here's the thing, whenever they walk into that gym, they want to feel included. They want to feel the warm and fuzzies. They want to feel accepted. And then I want you to think about the 15%. No, that's the person that's, they want to maybe do a little more cardio. Maybe they want to do a little more weight training. They don't want to be Arnold, right? Whenever I say Arnold, everybody knows who I'm speaking of. The reference is Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Well, not everybody wants to be Arnold. There's only 5% that want to be Arnold. They don't want to do the activity. So they don't want to do what it takes to be Arnold, but the concepts are still true. So if I'm going to the gym and now I want to get really serious about my diet. I want to get really serious about my exercise and my weight training, my cardio, right? And so that's where the Arnold concept comes into play. So I want you to think about this as it relates to you, as it relates to the language that you use, and the language that you're using whenever you're talking to your team, or the language that you're using whenever you're talking to a potential team member, or somebody that you're wanting to bring into your business. So lots of times, whenever, I'm going to relate it back to the gym concept, because this part is really, really important, because I can't tell you how many times as a woman, right, I've seen women that they go, well, they want to go to the gym and they want to get in shape. But what happens is they go into the gym and they walk into the gym and they don't feel comfortable. They don't feel comfortable at the current weight they're at. They don't feel comfortable at the current shape they're at. And they develop the mindset, I got to lose some weight before I can go to the gym. Now, I know a lot of you ladies that are out there, you're probably going, yes, that's me. I totally get that. Now, if you've ever been to one of those gyms where they're throwing the weights around and they're in there and grunting and groaning, like, I know you know what I'm talking about. That is not an inclusive type environment for someone who just wants to hang around the cardio machine and they want to have a little juice bar. That is not the person that they're catering to. So if that's been you wanting to go into the gym or lose weight before you go to the gym, then you might want to think about that environment that is it's more exclusive instead of inclusive. But see, we do the same thing as it pertains to our business. So remember whenever I came into the business, I never saw myself as being a top earner. I didn't believe, right? So whenever you create an environment, that a culture that allows for that new person to come in, that, it makes it okay. You don't have to have any experience. You don't have to have any special education. You don't have to have any special background. You don't have to know, a whole Rolodex of people. And you know what? More importantly, you don't have to have the desire to make 10,000, we'll use that term, $10,000 a month. We want you to come in and we just want you to get on our product and get on our service, use our service. And I'm going to use that as an example. We just want you to come in and we want you to take a look around. We want you to see what this is all about. We want you to get on the products or get a result using our products or service and be really, really fall in love with what we do, who we are, what we represent, what we stand for. Come hang around, come meet some other people that are just like you, that are having some results. And I want you to get a visual of inviting that person into this incubator, inviting this person into this room. We'll call it maybe a group or a Facebook group or a conference call or a Zoom call, right? And they feel so excited to be a part of something, first of all, that's positive. First of all, that's, people are happy. People are loving what they do. I want you to think about how many people right now, especially in this space right now, that have never experienced anything like that. They don't know what you know. They don't know what it's like to be around positive people that are having fun doing what they're doing. They don't know what it's like to celebrate somebody who just got their first customer, got their first team member, that kind of feel. And so they come in with a mindset, a really some sort of preconceived idea of what this looks like and what this feels like. And so you're inviting them to come in and take a look around, get started, get on your products, get a great result, fall in love with what we do. And so what happens, we want them, and this is a concept that Larry and I, we've actually trademarked this concept, and we call it a use, talk, demo concept. You want to get somebody to where they're coming into your community, they're coming into your team, and they're using the products, they're using the service, they're falling in love with what you're doing, what you're all about. They're getting to know other people just like them, right? So why is that so important? Because here's the thing. Whenever somebody gets emotionally attached to whatever you're selling as a customer or as a consumer, and they start having results, or they start feeling excited about what they're experiencing, now we give them something to talk about, right? And at the same time, you have to understand they're in this community, they're on these Zoom calls, they're having these experiences and hearing other people's stories. Remember, I came in because I heard a story. I heard about somebody I connected with, right? That I resonated with, that I identified with. And what did it do for me? It made me believe. It made me go through a belief process. Wow, if that can happen for them, maybe that can happen for me. And whenever you go through that process, whenever that believability starts being there, now their confidence starts going up, right? Their confidence, and then you just say, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? This is where a lot of people really get fearful, because we want to hand them a script, or we want to hand them something to talk about. But what do we ultimately want them to talk about, right? We want to ultimately equip them with the best piece of equipment they could possibly have in their toolbox. And that is their own story. Right? That is their own story as to how your product or how your service has impacted them, or how much do they love it, or how much it's changed their life from whatever perspective that is. Because whenever they get committed to using the product and service, and then they can talk about it from their own perspective, you're now equipping them with something that they do naturally, right? Think about it. If you if you just got a brand new pair of shoes and your girlfriend asks you, where did you get those shoes? You're going, oh my gosh, I just got those at Nordstrom's and they have a big sale. And oh my gosh, I just love these shoes. They're so comfortable. I know they're kind of high heel. And you have no problem talking about those brand new shoes. Let's talk about, maybe a movie, maybe something that you just saw, because you're not attached to the outcome, right? You're just sharing authentically what's happened to you and why you like it, why you use it, why you started using it, and what was the result. That is so genuine, and that's so true, and that's so authentic, and there's no science they have to learn. There's no marketing plan they have to learn. There's no I'm going to call them facts that they have to learn. They could have all the facts wrong, but if you equip them how to share their story and what's happened with them, use, talk, demo, right? Who can do that? Who can use your products or service? Anyone. It should be, right? Who can talk about what's happened with them and other people? Because if your culture and your community is inclusive and it's edifying those who are having results with the product or service, and you're sharing those stories repeatedly, right? With the new person, with the person that's been around. You're sharing those stories of opportunity. Oh my gosh, I just got started. I just got my first customers. I just made my first $100, right? What's happening to that new person? I want you to think about what's happening to that new person. And I just made my first $100, and all I did was share what happened with me. And I let them watch this video, or I let them try this sample, or I just invited them to this group, or whatever that demonstratable thing that you do or have is, right? Who can do all that? That's so simple. That's such an easy track for anyone to run on. And so you're bringing them into this culture. You're bringing them into this environment. You're giving them this way to equip them, right? To, first of all, set them up to have results, right? And here's the thing. Even if they do nothing else except use your product and use your service, you love them. You love them right where they are, right? Because it doesn't matter, because they're all welcome. They're all essential part of everything that you're doing. Because I want you to, if you think about this 80%, right? If you think about this 80%, where is the 15% going to come from? The 15% is going to come out of that pool of the 80. So let's go back. So let's talk about this 80, right? And you created this culture, right? And you're creating a, we'll say, use, talk, demo kind of environment that anybody can do. You don't have to know how to market. You don't have to have any special training. You just give them a couple of candles to hang on to that they can share very easily. They can share, talk about, without any pressure, without any extra special training. And they're inside this environment that's inclusive, not exclusive, right? And now they start believing, wow, maybe I can do this. Wow, if that can happen for her, maybe it can happen for me. Wow, if that can happen for them, maybe I could get 2 new customers just like what she did. Maybe I can, all she did was just do what I'm doing. She's just doing more of it, right? And so what happens now? We're taking them from a believe, right? They believe that they can do it. Now, whenever you take them to the know, they now know. Whenever they now have their first customers, they now have their first team member, right? And all they did was just a simple thing that you shared with them to do. Just all I did was use these products and talk about what happened with me and a couple of other people. And I shared this video, and, they decided to get started too. And now they see it working. So now they know what you're sharing. They know what they're hearing. They know what they're experiencing. They know it works. They know. Now there's a difference between believe, right? Because you can believe something works. You can believe it without actually having some sort of experience. But see, but whenever you transition from believe to know, now it requires some sort of activity. It requires some sort of action that gets them to now take ownership. Believe, know. They know because they've had a personal experience with it. They now know. And here's the thing. I mean, I can tell you from so much experience that so many times people in this category of this $500 to $1,500 a month, this person that's, just come in because, they want to make enough money to pay for their products and maybe pay for an extra bill or a phone bill or a light bill, whatever it is. And so, but they go, oh, well, just, I'll see how the product works for me. And maybe I'll share it with somebody I know. I don't know if I want to really do the business, right? We've seen and we've experienced all of that ourselves, right? But what happens whenever that you keep them hanging around? Larry and I was always taught, keep them hanging around the flagpole, right? Keep them hanging around in that incubator, right? So now they have some experience and now they get their first customer. And because they were able to get their first couple of customers and they make that $100, now they were able to share with their next door neighbor, how they just, I just made an extra $100. Oh my gosh, how did you do that? Well, all I did was I just started using these products and I started great, having such great results. And I started talking to other people about it. And I shared this with, one of my friends at work and she got started on the product and it was crazy. Like, so I got a customer I don't even know what I did. They were like, well, how does all that stuff work? I don't know. All I know is what happened with me. And I, my friend in this group, she was using this and this is what happened with her. Right. So, well, how did you make money? I don't know. I just sent them to my link and they bought just like I told them to do just what I did. And the company just sent me money. It's so crazy. Guys, who can do that stuff? Anybody. You don't have to have all the science. You don't have to have all the X's and O's. You don't have to know all of that stuff to get your business up, running, to bring people in and have a simple path to be able to bring people up, right? So let's say, so now we have a know process. Now they know because they've had experience. They know whenever they do this activity, this is the result, right? They know whenever they do this activity enough that this is the result. So what's the measuring stick? You do more of this, you get more of this, right? You do more talking, you make more money, right? And so now whenever you get to this process right here, the own process, right? The own process. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by owning it is that no matter what somebody says, no matter what they do, no matter what external things may be happening, they own this process. They own the results that people are having with your product, or your service. They own the fact that this marketing plan or your compensation or your rewards plan works. Why? Because it's worked for them. And so, here's what, whenever I talk about stories, whenever I talk about, sharing your stories and being and having that story in your toolbox to share, whenever that right there is whenever you share your story, right? Here's what you must remember at all times. It's not important that they buy your story, meaning whether they buy your story that you've had these amazing product results, or you love this service and what it's done for you and your family, or how much money that you've made or you haven't made. And I'm just going to show like a disclaimer with this. Guys, let me tell you a secret. I don't care if you're making $10,000 a month. That's not the conversation we need to be having. We need to be talking about how many customers did you get? Did you get one customer last week? That story sells bigger than that $10,000 a month income. And so, and that's just a little sidebar there, but let me talk about this own. So it's not important that they buy your story, meaning whatever your results are, right? Whatever results you've had, or how strong you feel about your product, how strong you feel about your compensation plan. But it's critical that you don't buy theirs. And what I mean by that is this. So many times, whenever you are out, you're sharing your story, you're sharing your results, you're sharing what's happened with you and what's happened with other people. You know, there's always going to be the negative Nellies. There's always going to be the ones that question, you know, is that a pyramid? There's you guys know all of this stuff, right? You know it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what they say, because whenever you get to the place to where you own it, right? You're like a dog with a bone. You're hanging on for dear life. You know that you know that you know that whenever you do the activity and whenever you do it consistently, you're going to have the results. You're going to have the results by getting your job done. And what's ultimately your job? Your job is to get new customers and get new reps, right? That's it. That's all your job is. So whenever you can create this environment, whenever you can create this community, whenever you can create this culture, right, that allows for that because here's the thing, everybody starts out at an 80%, right? Everybody starts out at an 80%. Now you may have some, you know, hotshot that came in from another company or whatever. It's like, you know, top earner or whatever. But I'm telling you, whenever they started their journey, they had to go through this process. They had to go through these steps to get to where they currently are, no matter what the success level or they're experiencing. But they had to start with a belief to where they know, to the point to where they own, right? And the only way that you can walk through those processes is activity. That's the only way. The only way that you can walk through the 80, 15, and 5, right? To get to the 15, you have to be in the 80. And to get 15s, right? They're going to come from the 80s. And if you have a language, if you have a safe space for everybody to participate in, you have a safe space and environment that allows for people to make their own decision and to grow up and to come to their own natural logical conclusions that they want more for their family. They want to have more activity, because here's the thing. How do you get to the 15%? How do you move up the ranks? The way that you move up the ranks is you do these simple things and you just do more of it. That's it. That's all there is to it. You know, network marketing sometimes has become so complicated, and everybody's made it so you know, there's so much science and so much. It's not complicated at all. You know, it's is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? Nope. I would say, but is it rewarding? Absolutely. And so whenever you can understand this being foundational to your business, and if you can understand, you know, the environment that you create, the culture that you create allows for somebody like me to grow up in, and to grow through, and to grow into themselves and take it where they're going to take it. Or like a Larry Thompson, right? Oh, you see all these amazing people in our space that have led the way for years. It was because they went through these processes. They went through these stages. They went through these steps. And so, you know, here's the thing, like, love on your people where they are. Love them where they are. Believe for them. Whenever they come in, if they're not even in a place to believe, cast the vision before them, believe for them until they can see themselves standing in those shoes, and whenever they get to the belief, right, and they believe that this can happen, cast a vision for the next step and how you see them, and they'll figure it out, right? You just have to be available, and you have to be capable, right? So that is the foundation of every what I believe that every network team, every network company, if they understand and implement this process, there's only other half a dozen things to do, and that you can build a rock solid team, that you will build a rock solid team with a legacy that will last for years to come, a legacy that you can pass on to your children. And so I just thank you so much for your time to be here and share with you. I hope that you got some value today. I hope so many amazing speakers that I've had the privilege to be able to share the stage with today. My dear friend Nicola, I love her. Ray Higdon, amazing. Alex Morton, I'm just total rock star today. I hope that I was able to place some value in you today, and that you got some words of wisdom that you can add to your toolbox to take with you to the marketplace. Because remember, the marketplace pays for value. And here's what my longtime mentor always said, and I love this. So, whenever the promise is clear, the price is easy. And so make your promises clear. The price is always easy whenever you know where you're going. So that's it for me. I want to thank Courtney again. Thank you. I love you. I think you're amazing. I love what you're doing. Thank you for allowing me to be a small part of it. And also to you, Robert, thank you so much for helping me put all this together. It's been amazing. So you have a blessed day, and we will see you soon. Adios. Taylor Thompson with the She Network. See you soon. Bye.
Don't you love her? She's so adorable, and she's so nice. She's like one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. All right, my friends, you're seeing behind me Level Up in Network 2, anchored by the one, let me get out of the way, we're anchored by the one and only Mr. Eric Worre. And I'm not quite sure how big of a part Marina's going to play in it, but I know that if we can get both of them, we're just that much more blessed. If we get him or her, either one would be amazing. But we're very excited to promote the next Level Up in Network. Now, we're going to put you all into a group. You're going to be able to network. We're going to invite back some of the speakers. We're going to have a couple of new speakers that are going to come into the group, into the community, and continue to teach and train. Remember, this isn't a one-day event. This event is going to be all the way until the next event. So October 24th is going to be Level Up in Network 2, hosted by Courtney, emceed by me, anchored by Eric Worre. So get on it right now. Start sharing it with your teams. Let's see, Courtney, we should probably do a contest. Let's put into a mailer or into a broadcast email to everybody that's participating, and let's see if we can't give them, let's put into place Ray's really cool pre-launch or pre-event announcement. And let's see if we can't do, let's think. Guess what? We're going to do something really cool. All you have to do is sell one ticket, and we're gonna put you into something that might be amazing. I have to review my notes about how Ray talked about how to do a pre-event contest. But let's just start with one. Sell one ticket, and you're going to have some value that we are yet to determine, but it'll be awesome, and you're going to want to do it. So make sure you get those tickets out there, share them with your team, try to sell packs of 10, get 20, get 50, get 100, I don't care. But start with one. Share it and get one. And if you do, find it in your heart to go to the Mana Relief link or the Last Well link or Operation Underground Railroad link. And if you can do $10, $20, $100, whatever you can do, please help us eradicate malnutrition. Let's give water to everybody in Liberia. And as soon as we wrap that up, we're going to go to another country and then help us free some children from an unbelievable and unimaginable hell of being trafficked, or even worse, as if there's anything worse, being bought so that their organs can be harvested. There's no reason we can't fight it and get rid of it, but we got to do it together. So with that, my friends, my name is Robert McFadden. It's been my pleasure to be your MC today. Can't wait to see you on October 24th, and can't wait to see hundreds and hundreds of people catching wind of the value of Level Up and Network. Thank you to Courtney and all of her staff. Thank you to Wendy, and thank you to everybody who helped pull this off. And thank you to you for sitting here and absorbing all this information. We look forward to working with you again soon. Be well and have a great night.
Robert, thank you so much. You're so amazing. Thanks. I just had to say goodbye, guys. I thank you so much. This has been something that I have said for 2 years that I'm going to do. And we did the first one today. It's going to get even better as we continue to move on and get more people involved, and so we can feed more, free more, and provide more safe drinking water. So thank you, Robert, so much for all you've done. And thank you, Wendy. I know she's here, but you can't see her. So I thank you so much for everybody who helped us make this happen.
All right. Be well.